Another thing that has changed the way we learn is social media. Yeah, and it's social media has really just changed the way we interact with people, the way we interact with our customers, the way we interact with our clients and our employees. Actually, Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you're combining social media and learning at Ketchum?
Sure. I would say the latest example, which we just actually rolled out yesterday, is what we call listening at scale. So within media relations, within public relations, in order to create content that is of value in communicating between a client and their audience, you no longer can just listen to that audience or to the client. You have to listen at scale. What that means is, what are the broad conversations going on in the world that might be of relevance to this particular client situation? I'll give an example. Our facility in the Netherlands was asked by Samsung to introduce a new phone in Belgium. Okay. So our people went to work on it. Now, at the same time in Belgium, there was a real crisis in the farming community that no one was buying Belgian pears, okay? And the farmers were really distraught. What our people did in the Brussels office is that they put out on the Samsung new phone introduction, they said, a pear for an apple. And they poked fun at Apple, their new, S6 phone, and which obviously is an apple with a bite out of it. And they said for everybody that buys a Samsung new phone, whatever it was, they were going to donate a pear. They were going to donate a pear on their behalf. It was wildly successful. Now, one would say, what does the pear farming industry have to do at all with a new phone introduction? That's what we mean by listening at scale. It's paying attention to what's going on in the world and connecting that up with what one needs to communicate. So I'll stop there.
Thanks, Robert. Jean?
We use, honestly, social is so DNA to us. It's just the way we do everything now. So we don't do anything in traditional media hardly anymore. It's really become the way that we live and work and play every day. And in a learning organization, we've used it from everything from recruitment of the community to forming work groups on very specific topics and giving people a chance to cross-mentor each other. So we have experts mentoring new beginners on both their careers and their journey and the best ways to study. We use it for improving our offerings because one of the things that, in fact, one of the mandates I have with my team is you have to go on the site every week and look for the latest and greatest trends. We always have these pop-up menus on trends, what's happening, right? And what that allows us to do is we can then solve for, what are people asking about the most that we don't have? What are people commenting on that isn't working for them? And what are they commenting that is working for them? And so we ask these questions. We have sort of the 5 whys, and we ask the 5 whys on what's going on, and we, this sort of listening at scale that Robert was talking about. We use it in the learning environment. We use it in our customer service environment. We use it everywhere in all of our environments where we're engaging with our customers and our employees. But this gives us an instant pulse. In fact, one of the things that we tried to design into our technology, this is part of the data collection element, is what I promised to deliver to the organization was not just an innovative learning solution that would allow them to learn differently and better, but that I would give them an instant pulse on the organization at any moment so they knew every topic that was coming up, whether it was a topic related to learning or something else entirely. It might be, I don't like what the CEO said on this policy. I don't like this policy. I don't like this thing that's going on in the company right now, or I'm feeling like, something's changed from what we said we're supposed to do, and I want to know about that, and I want to hear about that. So we use it now as a way to actually figure out where people are, their whole temperament from any given day, and then we bring that information forward, and we use that to help manage our own employees and manage our customers and so forth. So it is this listening at scale concept, but again, doesn't matter unless you do something with it. So you have to have people in your organization that know they're tasked to looking at it, to looking at the trends, to figuring out what's going on with those trends and make new decisions, and then act on it and take it back in. So that's in a nutshell what we're doing.
Addie?
Thank you. So, when you look at the impact of social media and mobile technology, you look at it with Arab Spring, right? It was kind of created because of the access to information on social media, and the ability to get information out, right? Because before, the information wasn't getting out as quickly as it should have. So it's had tremendous positive impact. You look at Haiti. I mean, if Haiti, the tragedy in Haiti, if it wasn't for social media and the ability to be able to connect people, we would have had serious issues. So I think this has tremendous value on any level. We have a relationship with Twitter where we get access to data. And again, we look at it and try to mash and connect it around social issues. And I think that our understanding, there's so much data out there that it's really a complex issue, trying to understand that and connect the dots. But I do want to go back to what we mentioned earlier. It's about technology is amoral, right? You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. And what we see in the social media space with Daesh and ISIS, the use of social media for negative messaging is tremendous. We can't keep up. You bring and this is where they do the youth, which is hopeless and unfranchised, a very small percentage of the youth, where they try to access them. And as you try to bring those sites down, they come back up very quickly. So they're experts in understanding social media and reaching their consumers that way. So how do we respond to that, right? How do we respond with that negative messaging in social media? How do we respond with social media sites? And there's one, it's called, I think, Backpage. You can Google it, backpage.com, put in your town on it, and you come up with a site where women are sold, children are sold, slavery, child trafficking. Today, we have over 20 million slaves, more than what we had when we had slaves from Africa. You can buy a girl for $300. You can buy her for body parts, or you can buy her as a sex slave. When you look at slavery and child trafficking and human trafficking, 80% is done in a dark web. 80% is done on the social media. The second largest global enterprise is human trafficking. And here is what I call a consequence, unintended consequence of social media, where now it's so easy to get access. You can go buy it, and you can, and the price has dropped tremendously when there were slaves coming from Africa. And we only, I think when we looked at the last data, 40% of countries had only caught 10 convictions per year when it comes to human trafficking. 80% women, 50% children. So when you look at social media, you have this tremendous positive side, and we spend so much in resources to try to find out what does the consumer wants to buy and how do we respond to that. But where are the resources to protect the children? Where are the resources to do the analytics to find out how are these humans being trafficked? How can we catch them? Because that's what we need.
Yeah. We're actually involved in a program right now, Protect, which is going after that exact same thing, which is to help, one, educate people on how to spot that, and two, what do you do to interact with it? How do you get help? How do you get that to stop? And how do you bring the information forward, right, to stop that kind of behavior? And so there are organizations that are popping up that are trying to do that, and I know Cisco's engaged in them.
That's great. I think we need more partnership and relationship around, because we think it's a great space, not considering all the negative issues, but it's creating this dark web, the deep web, which we really don't have a good plan for.
Yeah.
And it's just growing.
It could be used for good or for evil, and so I'm an optimist, so so I always like to talk about the good and what's happening out there in the good. But I do agree that we need to pay attention to both and solving all the bigger problems, not just the business problems.
Yes. Thank you.
Just a quick comment to what Addie was saying. Good versus evil. We've always had it as human beings, and we always will. So it's an ongoing battle. Let's say within the social web, part of what we have to do as a public relations entity on behalf of our clients is we often have to counteract some of the negative, false information, lies, as well as worse, that's on the web. So I just wanted to say, Eddie, there is knowledge about how best to interact or counteract negative, false, or let's say evil information on the web, which the general marketing communications industry is developing knowledge about. So we just wanted to say that, and happy to have more of a conversation with you about how we deal with issues and crises like that on behalf of our clients. There is the knowledge about how you go about it that does the best of counteracting false, wrong, or negative information in social media. I'll stop there.